All right. All right. So we're breaking into your day again for something pretty important. We are live. We're going to do a live reaction to um, Kevin McCarthy's wanting to be the minority Speaker of the House. Majority. He is currently minority. Of course, when they take, uh, well, they've taken over Congress, so they have to pick someone who is going to be, the Republicans have to pick up someone who's going to be the Speaker of the House. And McCarthy is one of the main candidates, and we've been covering this today. Uh, they've been to two rounds of voting. They're on the third round. I'm going to show you where we are now. As you can see, they're kind of mulling about here. Um, they have not found anyone. No one has been over the threshold to take on Speaker of the House. So there's a lot of deals being made. I think that there's maybe some backroom deals allegedly. It's been reported, of course, that last night McCarthy had a meeting with the hard right, wanting to try to get some votes so that he could be the Speaker of the House. Now, that hasn't happened. That has not happened. And as they are kind of talking among themselves, they seem to be pretty um, congenial, pretty. I don't see any real hard faces and stuff. But Politico earlier today reported that it's an open revolt. They said that McCarthy rejected a second time, and of course, they're on the third round, and so it still doesn't look good for him yet. There's also been some reports that the way it works is that they're going to keep going at it until someone is elected as the Speaker of the House. And this is on the Republican side. Why is that important? Well, in the House, you have Republican leadership. In the Senate, you have Democratic leadership. And of course, in the presidency, Biden is a Democrat. So we have a divided Congress. There's a potential for not working together, not being on the same page between the Republicans and the Democrats. You have a potential gridlock because at the end of the day, Congress has to agree and then the president has to sign. So if they can't agree, which is in some cases like this, then not a whole lot gets done. Only the bills that keeps the government open, maybe some other bipartisan bills that both sides agree. Something in the middle of the road type of bill, national emergencies, those type of things. That's why the $1.7 trillion spending bill, the omnibus bill, was signed last week. Actually, it was signed over the weekend. Was so important because that legislature basically keeps the government open until for a year. So that's good. That was signed. At least our government is open and functioning. Now, with this vote here for McCarthy, potentially, because there's no guarantee that he's going to win. It's been reported that some theories out there that the Republicans are going to get a group together and reach out to the Democrats for some votes to kind of, bring someone over that's more moderate to be the Republican Speaker of the House. We don't know if that's going to happen, guys. We really don't know if that's going to happen. I know that that is probably the best case scenario for the Democrats because you would get potentially a more moderate Speaker of the House. And guys, in the Senate, there is some there's still some brinkmanship, but they kind of work the way the rules work, you got to have in certain cases you got to have some bipartisan agreement. In the House, it's not like that. It's not like that. You know, the House Speaker has a lot of power, on what goes to the floor to get voted on. It's a lot of power. So I would think that having a speaker that is more moderate um, would be probably the best case of getting stuff done, because they have to agree, Senate and the House, and then of course the president has to sign it. So as they are looking to pick the Speaker of the House, and McCarthy wants that role, he wants it bad. Then I think it's a good time for us to kind of start looking at him as a legislative leader. Some of you guys may know him, but I'm going to look at him from a black and brown lens to see how this person is good for us. We just don't know if he's good for our community, our people. Being in the minority like he was, it's not a whole lot he could have done, to be fair. To be fair to him, there's not a whole lot he could have done working from a minority because the Democrats were in control. Now, I want to see if there's any policies or anything that he have publicly said that he was going to do that would help our community. So far, we covered in this on my channel his quote unquote commitment to America, and he had a 4-point plan. And remember how he let me expand this because this is a good point. So remember how he went on stage. This was before the election. He broke out an envelope. He says, "Our commitment to America, our commitment to America." And then he went into the details of that commitment, and all he had was, the only thing I can get out of it was that he was going to go after Hunter Biden as a way to get to the president. He was going to fire a lot of the IRS people. That's all I got out of that. If you guys in the chat room, if you've gotten more out of that commitment to America, where he went on stage. Remember, he went on stage with that Republican that ran for his seat. I think that person actually lost. But he got on stage, he got up there, commitment to America, and then he pulled. Well, it was dramatic. It was dramatic. He got up stage, man. The guy introduced him, and he pulled out his envelope, and he said, "We have a 5-point plan." It may have been just a bill from American Express. Who knows? Because he didn't look at it and he didn't read anything out of it. But we have this plan. Everyone was like, yeah, we got the plan. Whoa. And then he put it right back in his pocket and says, we're gonna do that. We're gonna fire a bunch of IRS people, and then we're gonna go after Hunter Biden. That was it. That was all he said. That's all I got out of it. So I am very interested in seeing how he would lead. I want him to lead. I being a business leader, we have to work with both sides, the Democrats and the Republicans. We have to work with both sides to advance our agenda, to advance our company. Saying that you're going to only work with one side of the electorate, and and not going to work with the other side, you can't do that in business. Someone walked through that door. Someone wants to build wealth in America. You got to learn to work with both sides. That's just the way it is. So let's see what he has publicly committed to. I pulled up his Congressional website and I'm going to share that. Let's see if we can share that here. Okay, so this is his front-facing site. Let me take my. I'm going to kind of go through it. Let's see if there's anything that can help us. Okay, so welcome. He's shaking hands. McCarthy announces new milestone toward a visiting center. Applauds progress, vaccine research. Okay, let's see if there's anything for us. We're going to cut back into. In fact, we're going to cut back into the voting here in a little bit. Make sure that we don't miss anything. So you guys not going to miss anything. I just want to take a closer look. I want to give this guy a fair shot. I really do. For America, we need to work together, and we need to pick people who serves our community. Okay, so not much on this first page, but let's dig a little deeper. Let's go to about. California, 23rd District. Let's see. At the age of 21, Kevin started on his small business. Kevin O's Deli. Okay, so he was a deli owner. So at 21, let's see, he sold his business. We're here. He sold his business to put himself through college and graduated the School of California and graduated at California State at Bakersfield. You know what? I actually was considering this college for grad school, and so it's a good college. You got to give him his props where it's due. Let's see what we have. He was an intern for Congressman Bill Thomas. Part of his staff in 2020. In 2000, he was elected to represent the 32nd Assembly District in the Congressional State Assembly. Okay. Freshman legislator, talked about that a little bit. He was elected in Congress here in 2006. Okay. Kevin quickly became chief deputy whip. Okay. So he was in leadership fairly early, guys, and later served as majority whip. In 2014, he was elected Republican leader in the House, where he now leads Congress in fighting for individual liberties. Okay, so let's see if we can find out what he fights for. No, it doesn't say what he fights for, guys. I want to give him. Okay, here we go. Issues. Okay, agriculture, farmers, and ranchers in our district literally feed. Let's see if there's any meat on this. Okay, here we go. I am committed to ensuring our farmers, ranchers, and workers in the agriculture industry has the necessary resources to continue to grow and harvest from generations to come. And learn more. Click here. Okay. Economy. Let's see. Spirit of ingenuity, Americans. While the coronavirus pandemic has hit us hard, we still talking about the virus. Kind of up here, we're talking about the virus, and we work to safely reopen. Okay, so we're kind of open. This may be dated. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if this sentence here. Okay, we must continue to promote more opportunities for our neighbors and our small businesses and their workforce. Encourage growth and investment in our neighborhoods and support those on the front lines okay, so this may be pro business. This may be pro business. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. If you guys want me to dig a little bit deeper in any one of these topics, go ahead and put a chat there and we'll take a look at it. So, like most Republicans, they talk about pro business. And so that's very appealing for all business leaders. Now, how they do the pro business is that's the rub, is what steps, what measures they take for pro business. A lot of times that means cutting taxes and reducing the tax burden, which is something that is important for sure. Being in business, having to pay taxes, that's important. Is there anything else? I'm interested in seeing if there's anything else besides cutting taxes that they are intending to do. As of today, I haven't heard anything about that. Well, firing the IRS agents. Other than that, I really haven't done it. Haven't heard anything about it. Energy. This is important because clean energy is a big thing. Let's see if he says anything about clean energy, or he's still, well, there's a rig there. Looks like that's a drilling. So he looked like he's still not embracing clean energy. Let's see what he has here. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. It's one of the countries leading in oil and natural gas. I will continue. Okay, I will continue to fight for common sense solutions to meet our energy needs. Such solutions require the United States to promote economic growth by continuing to invest in domestic energy sources, especially those in California, and the jobs and energy. Okay, so nothing about clean energy so far in here. So up to here, guys, it's the only thing he mentioned was oil and coal. Nothing about solar, wind, nothing else. Simultaneously, we must continue right here. If you're following along, simultaneously, we must continue to push the envelope for more affordable and reliable alternate energy products that will. Okay, so I guess he left the door open. Alternate energy products that will support new jobs and growth in the 21st century, without saying what those alternate energy products are. I am going to make it a point to see exactly what that is. Foreign affairs, most Republicans are pretty strong on defense for foreign affairs. And let's see what we have here. United States faces, I'm right here, guys. United States faces challenges. Congress must continue to help craft an effective foreign policy agenda that will defend our nation's values. Okay, I get that. Abilities and interests while remaining accountable to the American people. That sounds really good. Um, this includes ensuring that our nation maintains its competitive advantage with nations like China and Russia, holding them to account, and so on. So, to his credit, the Republicans has supported it was a bipartisan support to give aid to Ukraine. So you got to give him credit there. You got to give him credit there. So that's one. You got to give him credit there. All right. So let's go on. Healthcare. American families. So it looks like the normal healthcare stuff, we must ensure that the Medicare program is well funded to ensure financial stability. I think that's bipartisan support. How they fund that is interesting. Um, so that older Americans continue to have access to choice to receive the health care they need. Okay, immigration. Well, we know what their immigration policy is. National security, Social Security, national security, strong national security, immigration, send them back home. Um, Social Security, Congress must keep the program made. I'm sorry, keep the promise made to the current retirees and those nearing retirement. As Social Security has, okay, so yeah, look like they're strong in it. However, under current estimates, Social Security financial solvency will be threatened in the next decade. Reforms must be made to strengthen the long-term financial health of the nation of the program, so that our children and grandchildren can have a bright future to retire and so on. Veterans issues is something another hot button topic. The brave men and women of who currently serve and have served in the United States Armed Forces, and I am one of those guys who have served U.S. Navy. Proud of it. Uh, have made it possible for all of us in this country to prosper and live in freedom. We need to honor their commitment to this country by providing them with the extraordinary levels of care they deserve, whether in its health care, educational benefits, or focusing assistance on our veterans who have fallen on hard times. Okay, that's good. That's pretty solid. That's pretty solid. So having a strong healthcare, um, really, the Republicans and Democrats. It's a shame that they can't work together because they're not too far apart on a lot of things. Who doesn't want a good healthcare? Who doesn't want national security? Who doesn't want, to reduce government spending? Um, have government spend on the right programs. Who doesn't want a good foreign affair? Now, but the big ones they have, and who doesn't want a strong, education? But the big ones, the energy, national security. We want a strong national security, border security. Sometimes is thrown in as national security. Some people, I think that Republicans think of it as one. I think the Democrats think of it as separate. So you want those things. How you go about getting those things, that's where you kind of run into problems. That's where you kind of run into problems. Now, checking in, it looks like the let's check in and see what's going on with the vote. I don't think we're there yet. I do not think we are there yet. So from his public page, it looks like he is a pretty centralist Republican. But as we know, some of this going after Biden stuff and not serving America, that is problematic. I'm going to see if we can share and see where we are with the vote. Oh, they have adjourned. Guys, they have let me go ahead and show this. So it's not going to happen. Let me add it to it. House Representatives have adjourned until 12 p.m. Tuesday, January 3rd. Wait, hold on. That's old. That's old. Let's see if we can find something newer. Okay, so that was basically just an old graphic. That was basically, let me add it. It looks like they have adjourned. So we're going to actually see if we can wrap this up here. And see where we are. And we're going to pick up. When they pick up, we're going to pick up. Because as I mentioned, finding the right person for that job is huge. Huge. Okay. I'm going to show some mulling about let's take a look at this.
Boyle of Pennsylvania. Jeffries. Burkeen. Jordan. Brown. Jeffries. Brownlee. Jeffries. Buchanan. McCarthy. Buck. McCarthy. Bouchon. McCarthy. Baczynski. Jeffries. Burchett. McCarthy. Burgess. McCarthy. Burlinson. McCarthy. Bush. Jeffries. Calvert. McCarthy. Kamek. McCarthy. Caraveo. Jeffries. Carbajal. Carbajal. Jeffries. Cardenas. Jeffries. Carey. McCarthy. Carl. McCarthy. Carson. Jeffries. Carter of Georgia. Carter of Georgia. Carter of Louisiana.
Carter of Louisiana probably votes for Hakeem Jeffries.
Jeffries. Carter of Texas. McCarthy. Cartwright. Jeffries. Kassar. Jeffries. Case. Jeffries. Caston. Jeffries. Castor of Florida. Jeffries. Castro of Texas. Jeffries. Chavez DeReamer, McCarthy. Sherferless McCormick, Jeffries. Chu, Jeffries. Cicilline, Jeffries. Siscobani, McCarthy. Clark of Massachusetts, Jeffries. Clark of New York, Jeffries. Cleaver, Jeffries. Klein, McCarthy. Cloud, Jordan. Clyburn, Jeffries. Clyde, Jordan. Cohen, Jeffries. Cole, McCarthy. Collins, McCarthy. Comer, McCarthy. Connolly, Jeffries. Correa, Jeffries. Costa, Jeffries. Courtney, Jeffries. Craig, Jeffries. Crane, Jordan. Crawford, McCarthy. Crenshaw, McCarthy. Crockett, Jeffries. Crow, Jeffries. Cuellar, Jeffries. Curtis, McCarthy. Davids of Kansas, Davids of Kansas, Jeffries. Davidson, McCarthy. Davis of Illinois, Jeffries. Davis of North Carolina, Jeffries. Dean of Pennsylvania, Jeffries. DeGette, Jeffries. Dela Cruz, McCarthy. DeLauro, Jeffries. Del Bene, Jeffries. DeLuzio, Jeffries. DeSaulnier, Jeffries. Desjardins, McCarthy. D'Esposito, McCarthy. Diaz-Balart, McCarthy. Dingell, Jeffries. Doggett, Jeffries. Donalds, Jordan. Duarte, McCarthy. Duncan, McCarthy. Dunn of Florida, McCarthy. Edwards, McCarthy. Elsie, McCarthy. Emmer, McCarthy. Escobar. Jeffries. Eshoo. Jeffries. Espaillat. Jeffries. Estes. McCarthy. Evans. Jeffries. Ezell. McCarthy. Fallon. McCarthy. Finstra. McCarthy. Ferguson. McCarthy. Finstad. McCarthy. Fishbach. McCarthy. Fitzgerald. McCarthy. Fitzpatrick. McCarthy. Fleischman. McCarthy. Fletcher. Jeffries. Flood. McCarthy. Foster. Jeffries. Fauci. Jeffries. Fox. McCarthy. Lois Frankel. Jeffries. C. Scott Franklin. McCarthy. Frost. Jeffries. Fry. McCarthy. Fulcher. McCarthy. Gates. Jordan. Gallagher. McCarthy. Gallego. Jeffries. Garamendi. Jeffries. Garbarino. McCarthy. Mike Garcia. McCarthy. Robert Garcia. Jeffries. Garcia of Illinois. Jeffries. Garcia of Texas. Jeffries. Jimenez. McCarthy. Golden of Maine. Jeffries. Goldman of New York. Jeffries. Gomez. Gomez. Tony Gonzalez. McCarthy. Vicente Gonzalez. Jeffries. Good of Virginia. Jordan. Gooden of Texas. McCarthy. Gosar. Jordan. Gottheimer. Jeffries. Granger. McCarthy. Graves of Louisiana. McCarthy. Graves of Missouri. McCarthy. Green of Tennessee. McCarthy. Green of Texas. Jeffries. Green of Georgia. McCarthy. Griffith. McCarthy. Grijalva. Jeffries. Grothman. McCarthy. Guest, McCarthy. Guthrie, McCarthy. Hageman, McCarthy. Harder of California. Jeffries. Harris. Jordan. Harshbarger. McCarthy. Hayes. Jeffries. Hearn. McCarthy. Higgins of Louisiana. McCarthy. Higgins of New York. Jeffries. Hill. McCarthy. Himes. Jeffries. Henson. McCarthy. Horsford. Jeffries. Houchin. McCarthy. Houlihan. Jeffries. Hoyer. Jeffries. Hoyle of Oregon. Jeffries. Hudson. McCarthy. Huffman. Jeffries. Huizinga. McCarthy. Hunt. McCarthy. Issa. McCarthy. Ivy. Jeffries. Jackson of Illinois. Jeffries. Jackson of North Carolina. Jeffries. Jackson of Texas. McCarthy. Jackson Lee. Jeffries. Jacobs. Jeffries. James. McCarthy. Jayapal. Jeffries. 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 Johnson of Georgia. Jeffries. Johnson of Louisiana. McCarthy. Johnson of Ohio. McCarthy. Johnson of South Dakota. McCarthy. Jordan. McCarthy. Joyce of Ohio. McCarthy. Joyce of Pennsylvania. McCarthy. Camlogger Dove. Jeffries. Captor. Jeffries. Kane of New Jersey. McCarthy. Keating. Jeffries. Kelly of Illinois. Jeffries. Kelly of Mississippi. McCarthy. Kelly of Pennsylvania. McCarthy. Khanna. Jeffries. Kiggins of Virginia. Kiggins of Virginia. McCarthy. Kildee. Jeffries. Kiley, McCarthy. Kilmer, Jeffries. Kim of California, McCarthy. Kim of New Jersey, Jeffries. Krishnamurthy, Jeffries. Custer, Jeffries. Kustoff, McCarthy. LaHood, McCarthy. LaLoida, McCarthy. LaMalfa, McCarthy. Lamborn, McCarthy. Landsman, Jeffries. Langworthy, McCarthy. Larson of Washington, Jeffries. Larson of Connecticut, Jeffries. Latta, McCarthy. LaTurner, McCarthy. Lawler, McCarthy. Lee of California, Jeffries. Lee of Florida, McCarthy. Lee of Nevada, Jeffries. Lee of Pennsylvania, Jeffries. Ledger Fernandez, Jeffries. Lesko, McCarthy. Letlow, McCarthy. Levin, Jeffries. Liu, Jeffries. Lofgren, Jeffries. Loudermilk, McCarthy. Lucas, McCarthy. Luetkemeyer, McCarthy. Luna, Jordan. Luttrell, McCarthy. Lynch, Jeffries. Mace, McCarthy. Magaziner, Jeffries. Maliotakis, McCarthy. Mann, McCarthy. Manning, Jeffries. Massey, McCarthy. Mast, McCarthy. Matsui, Jeffries. Macbeth, Jeffries. McCarthy, McCarthy. McCall, McCarthy. McLean, McCarthy. McClintock, McCarthy. McCollum, Jeffries. McCormick, McCarthy. McGarvey, Jeffries. McGovern, Jeffries. McHenry, McCarthy. Meeks, Jeffries. Menendez, Jeffries. Ming. Jeffries. Muser. McCarthy. Mfume. Jeffries. Miller of Illinois. Jordan. Miller of Ohio. McCarthy. Miller of West Virginia. McCarthy. Miller Meeks. McCarthy. Mills. McCarthy. Molinaro. McCarthy. Molinar. McCarthy. Mooney. McCarthy. Moore of Alabama. McCarthy. Moore of Utah. McCarthy. Moore of Wisconsin. Jeffries. Moran. McCarthy. Morelli. Jeffries. Muskowitz. Jeffries. Moulton. Jeffries. Mervan. Jeffries. Mullen. Jeffries. Murphy. McCarthy. Nadler. Jeffries. Napolitano. Jeffries. Neal. Jeffries. Nagoose. Jeffries. Nels. McCarthy. Newhouse. McCarthy. Nickel. Jeffries. Norcross. Jeffries. Norman. Jordan. None of Iowa. McCarthy. Obernolte. McCarthy. Ocasio-Cortez. Ocasio-Cortez. Ogles. Jordan. Omar. Omar. Jeffries. Owens. McCarthy. Pallone. Jeffries. Palmer. McCarthy. Panetta. Jeffries. Pappas. Jeffries. Pasquarel. Jeffries. Payne. Jeffries. Pelosi. Jeffries. Peltola. Jeffries. Pence. McCarthy. Perez. Jeffries. Perry. Jordan. Peters. Jeffries. Pedersen. Jeffries. Pfluger. McCarthy. Phillips. Jeffries. Pingree. Jeffries. Pocan. Jeffries. Porter. Jeffries. Posey. McCarthy. Presley. Jeffries. Quigley. Jeffries. Ramirez. Jeffries. Raskin. Jeffries. Reschenthaler. McCarthy. Rogers of Washington. McCarthy. Rogers of Alabama. McCarthy. Rogers of Kentucky. McCarthy. Rose. McCarthy. Rosendale. Jordan. Ross. Jeffries. Rouser. McCarthy. Roy. Jordan. Ruiz. Jeffries. Rupersberger. Jeffries. Rutherford. Rutherford. McCarthy. Ryan. Jeffries. Salazar. McCarthy. Salinas. Jeffries. Sanchez. Jeffries. Santos. McCarthy. Sarbanes. Jeffries. Scalise. McCarthy. Scanlon. Jeffries. Schakowsky. Jeffries. Schiff. Jeffries. Snyder. Jeffries. Skolton. Jeffries. Schreier. Jeffries. Swikert. McCarthy. Austin Scott. McCarthy. David Scott. Jeffries. Scott of Virginia. Jeffries. Self. Jordan. Sessions. McCarthy. Sewell. Jeffries. Sherman. Jeffries. Sherrill. Jeffries. Simpson. McCarthy. Slotkin. Jeffries. Smith of Missouri. McCarthy. Smith of Nebraska. McCarthy. Smith of New Jersey. McCarthy. Smith of Washington. Jeffries. Smucker. McCarthy. Sorensen. Jeffries. Soto. Jeffries. Spanberger. Jeffries. Sparts, McCarthy. Stansberry, Jeffries. Stanton, Jeffries. Stauber, McCarthy. Steele, McCarthy. Stefanik, McCarthy. Style, McCarthy. Stubbe, McCarthy. Stevens, Jeffries. Stewart, McCarthy. Strickland, Jeffries. Strong, McCarthy. Swalwell, Jeffries. Sykes, Jeffries. Takano, Jeffries. Tenney, McCarthy. Tanadar, Jeffries. Thompson of California, Jeffries. Thompson of Mississippi, Thompson of Mississippi. Jeffries. Thompson of Pennsylvania, McCarthy. Tiffany, McCarthy. Timmons, McCarthy. Titus, Titus. Tlaib, Jeffries. Takuda, Jeffries. Tonko, Jeffries. Torres of California, Jeffries. Torres of New York, Jeffries. Trahan, Jeffries. Trone, Jeffries. Turner, McCarthy. Underwood, Jeffries. Valadeo, McCarthy. Van Drew, McCarthy. Van Dyne, McCarthy. Van Orden, McCarthy. Vargas, Jeffries. Vasquez, Jeffries. Vesey, Jeffries. Velasquez, Jeffries. Wagner, McCarthy. Wahlberg, McCarthy. Waltz, McCarthy. Wasserman Schultz, Jeffries. Waters, Jeffries. Watson Coleman, Jeffries. Weber of Texas, McCarthy. Webster of Florida, McCarthy. Winstrup, McCarthy. Westerman, McCarthy. Wexton, Jeffries. Wild, Jeffries. Williams of Georgia, Jeffries. Williams of New York, McCarthy. Williams of Texas. McCarthy. Wilson of Florida. Jeffries. Wilson of South Carolina. McCarthy. Whitman. McCarthy. Womack. McCarthy. Yacom. McCarthy. Zinke. McCarthy.
The reading clerk will now call the names of the representatives-elect who did not answer the first call of the roll.
Blumenauer. Jeffries. Carter of Georgia. McCarthy. Gomez. Jeffries. Ocasio-Cortez. Jeffries. Titus. Jeffries.
All right. So here's the big discussion time.
We don't want to get really good. Yeah. My hand's starting to cramp.
All right, so I dropped the link If you guys want to come on up and state your opinion on this or your thoughts, the link is in the description, in the chat. Come on up. I'm going to drop this down. Let's go ahead and look at this report that went out. This was reported by one of the news outlets. It says that CBS, it says that a band of ultra conservative, let me make sure you guys can see this. Let me add this to the stream here. And here we go. Again, if you have, you want to come on up, click on the link below that's in the chat. Come on up. A band of ultra-conservative rebels on Tuesday, blocked House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy from securing the speaker gavel for the first 3 votes of the new Republican majority, making the first time the House has gone to multiple ballots to elect a speaker in 100 years. It said that in a series of dramatic televised votes, some of which we've seen, I didn't cover the first 2 rounds, but I will cover tomorrow. I'm going to cover all the rounds. I'm going to get up here and I think that they overnight they're gonna find those votes, man. They're gonna find those votes. So I fully expect us to kind of wrap this up maybe tomorrow. But it says that continuing in a series of dramatic televised votes on the House floor, McCarthy of California received support from an overwhelming majority of his GOP, but it fell short of the 218. So let's see. 218 is needed to win a simple majority of the 434 votes. Let's see. A group of 19 conservatives opposed him in the first 2 rounds of the voting, but by the 3rd round, the number grew to 20. So 1 more person was added. The House adjourned for the day just before 5:30, and will return at noon tomorrow. It goes on to say it's unclear where the Republicans can go from here. Neither McCarthy allies nor his hard right enemies are backing down. House rules require lawmakers to keep holding votes. They're going to keep at it, man, for a speaker until someone secures 218 votes or a simple majority of the members voting. So there was a theory that was reported by another, let's see, we got here. Let me stop that. There was a theory that was reported by an outlet that basically said that some people may leave, and therefore they are not casting a vote for him. They're not casting a vote against him, but by them leaving, then the simple majority will be shifted, and then the ones that are supporting him would have the opportunity to vote him as House Speaker. We have Jeremiah 7 says, thanks for streaming. Can we really trust Republicans, politicians, I should say? No. We can trust them to be on their side. To, you know, what's the saying? You can trust. I can trust you as far as I can throw you, and I'm pretty weak. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. So yeah, I think that probably someone would get voted in. I think that probably I would bet tomorrow there are going to be some people don't show up and allow him to get voted in. I really do. I think that's going to be their solution, their graceful way out. They can go home to their constituents and say, "Hey, listen, I didn't vote for the guy, I and yet he still is the majority speaker." What do you guys think? You think that he will give me a 1 in the chat if he's going to be the majority, the Speaker of the House, or 2, he's not going to ever make it. Let me know how they feel about that. But either way, we're going to be here tomorrow and the next day and the next day if need be until someone is the Speaker of the House. And that someone most likely, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would think that McCarthy would probably be there. I think it would probably be there. Hey guys, thank you for hanging in there. Let's see if there's anything else we got here. I'm gonna check a couple of the other news before I let you guys go. All right. So it looks like that's what we have. Hey, tomorrow we're gonna stream at noon. So please come back and let's enjoy this. As Mortgage Bass says, shout out to Mortgage Bass, says a hot mess. Let's enjoy it together. Bring the popcorn. See you guys later. Stay grinding.